We're here at the Intellectual Property Awareness Summit in Berkeley, California. And we're exploring what IP awareness and understanding is. What do we need to know? Who needs to know it? And how do we convey it?
We do live in this global, transnational, interconnected world where our very notions of property are being challenged every day depending on who we're talking to. We live in an open test tube where, everybody can share ideas at lightning speed. What's the point of, trying to chase those ideas down with something that can take several years to get and cost you several more years to go and enforce and assert? Why don't we just make it a free-for-all and, the devil take the hindmost? There is an alternative point of view, which is it's never been a better time to be in the IP business view of the future, which goes something like this. For the first time in history, we can collaborate and pull ideas in amazing ways, but we still need to tell inventors that the water's safe.
There are a lot of gaps in public understanding of intellectual property policy. I come from a perspective of the pharmaceutical industry, where we have a tremendous public perception problem that patents really are what's driving the price of prescription drugs. That is demonstrably false. There are many, many factors that affect pricing of pharmaceuticals, but as it happens, patents are not the chief factor.
I think that we explain currently in terms of the law, that we just sort of fall back into a patent is something you go to the USPTO and you get it, and it allows you these kinds of protections, but it's a legal language that has no meaning. It's so totally abstract and divorced from the real life of the person with whom one is talking that it's meaningless to them.
So the disrespect for patents is growing. There's unabashed copying, which is often euphemistically called efficient infringement. And another appropriate quotation, when people are free to do as they please, they usually imitate each other.
Understanding intellectual property is very imperative for us as individuals and for our policymakers and for our system, so that people can invest and people can take those chances and do more than you can just based on philanthropy or your own limited resources. Intellectual property enables us to break through and take chances and break through and create new technologies that wouldn't exist otherwise.
There have been some really good initiatives in this area, and I look to the public institutions, WIPO, UK IPO, EU IPO, EPO, all have produced materials which are focused really not, I've been speaking about university, but focusing from school age.
4 years ago, to the best of our knowledge, there was no university or college teaching a full credit undergraduate course in intellectual property. And then 3 years ago, the University of Southern California introduced the very first full 4-credit undergraduate course in intellectual property. Today, there are more than 300 universities and colleges just in the United States alone who have either offered the same course or have incorporated that material into a course such as in entrepreneurship.
At the Intellectual Property Office of Singapore, we do IP and education and awareness at 3 levels. The foundational level, and this is where we promote basic IP awareness among businesses. At the next level, this is where we do customized programs for government agencies as well as private enterprises. And at the most advanced level, we do certification programs with universities to administer programs such as the Masters in IP and Innovation Management, as well as more recently the specialized certificate for intangible assets management.
So one of the things that we're doing in the state of Georgia, we believe that the first state that is doing K through 12 IP education. This past summer we trained a bunch of teachers in coordination with the state of Georgia, and we really are just trying to take it to the classrooms. We also have formed this thing called the University IP Alliance, and we have about 30 universities to get together quarterly, and our goal is to have every student in the university system get a basic understanding, basic awareness of intellectual property, because every job, no matter what you do, is going to touch on it, and if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to potentially get yourself and your company in a lot of trouble.
The program that I'm most proud of is our integrated master's program. And in order to create that in a way where people can learn intellectual property from a business perspective, or what we would call an intellectual property approach to building knowledge-based business, is how to put different groups of people together. So to put lawyers together in the room with engineers and business students, maybe bio students, maybe designers, and think about what is it that we want to achieve, how do we do innovation and entrepreneurship, but teach that from the foundation of what is the knowledge that you're creating, and how do you control it, and how does that play the key role in producing value, whether it's for a company or for society.
And so we've got to educate people that we need the incentives, we need the rewards, we need ownership. Intellectual property is called property. That means you own the rights to it. We need to understand that that's important, that you be able to own the rights of your creations. And that will encourage more creations, which will then be propagated and everyone can enjoy.